All right, everybody, welcome back to the second Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. Just opening up the documents. Hopefully you were able to tune in yesterday. Yesterday's show was 3179. Today it's episode 3180. If you want to read along with what questions came in here today, head on over to stephencabral.com/3180. And of course, while you're on the website, if you haven't already picked up your copy of The Rain Barrel Effect, what are you waiting for? Grab yourself a free copy. You'll see it all over the website. There'll be notes for get your free copy of The Rain Barrel Effect. We want that book in everyone's hands. We pay to now print the book. You just pay for the shipping and handling, small fee for that, and it gets shipped right to you in the United States. And stay tuned in the new year. Sometime in the new year next year, there will be more information on my next book coming out. So I'd love you to read The Rain Barrel Effect if you haven't before that. All right, let's dive into today's questions. Just opened up the Ask Cabral document, answering, again, 5 to 6 questions from the community. Let's check out what the first question is. It's from Renee, or Rini. It says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. After many years of stubborn acne and not seeing the results from my functional efforts, I reached a point where I was willing to try spironolactone. For reducing androgenic production. After only 8 days on 50 milligrams, I developed intense right side flank kidney pain that was associated with heart flutters. I stopped the meds and everything subsided after 3 or so days. Could my low potassium have caused this? Any thoughts?" All right. Yes, well, one of the number one side effects of this particular pharmaceutical drug is imbalances in electrolytes, essentially caused within the kidneys, that then affects the heart. So it absolutely affects potassium, and that's not necessarily your fault. I mean, if you came in with low potassium, yeah, that's an issue. But just understand that these diuretic-based effects, I've seen literally write-ups with high potassium causing bradycardia, so high potassium, then causing low heart rate. And I've also seen issues with the body imbalancing salt and then causing other issues on the other end with imbalances between sodium and potassium. So it's not just you. Some people react negatively to it. And again, I can't give you any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis. This may not be a drug that your body works well with. So I can't provide medical advice, but just know that you're not alone in this. If you look that up, that is a common side effect of that drug. So I'm assuming you've already looked into the big 5. You looked into gut health. You looked into hormone health. You've looked into inflammation. You've looked into food sensitivities. If you've done all that, I totally get it. I understand where you're coming from. But remember, there is always an answer. And I know that you're going to be able to find it. All right, Angie's up next. Angie says, "Thank you for making functional medicine more accessible and affordable to all." Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you saying that. I have a few questions. How do I know what podcast episode to listen to for the answers? I did the 2-week detox and I still don't feel well. I didn't lose any weight. I was hungry the whole time. My stomach feels bloated and I'm still gassy. What now? Also, can you tell me what you think of Truvani's products by the Food Babe? Yeah, happy to. Okay, so and I know what you're saying. If you're new to the community, it's like, well, have you answered this before? And the answer is yes. Yes, absolutely. So please ask any question you have at cabralsupportgroup.com. We pay a team of amazing health coaches to answer your questions complimentary. So I just want you to know that. They can't go over your labs, but they can certainly answer questions just like this. So if someone doesn't get results on the detox and their goal was weight loss and overall, energy and all that, and they didn't get it, if you don't lose weight on the functional medicine detox, there is a hormone imbalance. I can assure you of that. So you want to run something called the Big 5 if possible, which will also look at your gut issues as to why you're bloated and gassy. But if you can't run the Big 5, at least run the stress, mood, and metabolism test, because it's going to show if you have estrogen dominance, if you have low thyroid, if you have high evening cortisol, if you have low vitamin D, and if you have imbalanced insulin levels. So it's going to tell you all of those things as to why you can't lose the weight, because weight loss is a metabolic issue, not just a calories in, calories out. All right. So really important. But then if you run the Big 5, or at least the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, you'll find out what's going on in your gut. So definitely recommend the Big 5. By the way, everything is at stephencabral.com/shop. Just an easy word to spell. That takes you right over to Equalife though. And then that's all of the Big 5 or the stress, mood, and metabolism. Stress, mood, and metabolism is part of the big five. All right. All right. So then what do I think of Truvady's products? I think Truvady's products are great. No issues with them at all. They offer a pea-based protein powder. Keep in mind, the daily nutritional support by Equilife is a pea-based protein powder, hypoallergenic, third-party tested, just like Truvady, but we have an all-in-one. So it provides all your vitamins, all your minerals, all your electrolytes, all your detox factors, organic fiber, all of those things. So it's a 12-in-1. So it's just, we feel it's just a tremendous value. And you can find that particular product that I use every day and that we've been using in my practice since about 2012, 2011, maybe earlier. Maybe it's earlier, but right around there. Not the exact one, but certainly the first version of it. Now we've, perfected that as of 2017. So that's at stephencabral.com/DNS. So hopefully that was helpful. But they do third-party testing as well, which is great. All right, Lori's up next. She says, my right eye waters off and on all day long, especially in the cold or when air blows on me. It is not dry eye or a problem with my tear duct being blocked. Is there anything I can do for it? The eye doctors have not been able to help me. This has been going on for at least 15 years. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to help with you. This is a random symptom that I used to have. I had it all through high school and college and even into my mid-20s until I figured it out. And so again, I can't give you any medical diagnosis, but I can share with you, I used to go from, it's so fresh in my memory, even though it was so long ago that I was in undergrad. I would walk in with my buddy. We would work out before, and then we would go to the lunch or dinner hall after that. And right when I came from the outside, I would get, my eyes would tear up with water. And then they would stop once, I was out of the cold or whatever, or I should say in the car. And then I would walk into the dinner hall, and then it was warmer, and then my eyes would tear up again. And so I later figured out this is called eosinophilic eye. And it has a little bit to do with what's called allergic rhinitis. So basically it's with people with allergies, low-level allergies, that produce more eosinophils, which is a white blood cell connected to parasites or gut issues or allergies or asthma, etc. And the way that I was able to fix this was healing my gut, which didn't happen until much later after college, which calmed my Th2 immune system, which then stopped all of these itchy and watery eyes. So that's the process. The process, again, is the same for figuring out underlying root causes, and that's running the big five. So stephencabral.com/big5 or just stephencabral.com. /shop. That'll take you there, and you can look for these yourself. It comes with a lab results call, and it also comes with a personalized wellness plan. So that's my recommendation. And if you're not able to run the big five, then I would at least start with the starter kit, which is called the vitamin tox test. And again, that's stephencabral.com/shop. All right. Great question, though. And that's kind of a random one. So hopefully I was able to help a little bit with that. And of course, you can look these up. Mia's up next. Mia says, or Maya, I have been dealing with gut issues for a while and recently developed mast cell activation syndrome. Could the root cause of MCAS be the gut issues? And could dealing with that resolve the MCAS? I keep hearing MCAS is progressive and not curable, and mine is progressively getting worse every few months, and I'm very scared because the symptoms of MCAS are quite terrible. Is there anything suggested testing or tips for dealing with it? Yeah. And so the thing is, I've already answered all these questions before in the podcast, and I don't mind answering your question. I don't mind answering this every single weekend if it comes up. But all of these have been answered. And that is because we have seen well over 250,000 people, and I had many of these myself. I had mast cell activation syndrome, like before it was a thing in the late 90s. Nobody knew what it was, and then later diagnosed in the early 2000s. And I resolved it by fixing my gut. That was the thing. I had candida overgrowth. I had H. pylori. I had small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And what you're going to have with those three things, leaky gut. So it fixed my eosinophilic eye that Lori was talking about. and it fixed my mast cell activation syndrome that Maya was talking about. And the reason is that if you are not spilling proteins, bacteria, yeast, mycotoxins from mold, if you have mold, this can be an issue too. So you need to find the underlying root cause. And then you go about rebalancing the body. I also had low levels of zinc, so I had to fix that. I had low levels of magnesium, I had to fix that. So I had low levels of B6 and B12, I had to fix that. So it is always about finding your deficiencies and your toxicities. It's the only way to heal. And I don't even say I wish there was another way. I don't wish there was another way. This is the exact way. Like, this is the exact way to heal whatever the issue is. Honestly, because everybody has different symptoms, but by looking for the underlying root cause, vitamins, minerals, omegas, food sensitivities, parasites, candida, SIBO, H. pylori, leaky gut, heavy metals, like, you're able to find it. And the Big Five runs those. And so you don't have to run them with us either. Again, if you're saying, well, you're just trying to get me to run the Big Five with you. No, you don't have to at all. You can run them with an integrative health practitioner. You can just go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org. We don't run any of their practices. And you can find an IHP that you'd like to work with, or find someone in your local area that isn't just a functional medicine doctor, but a naturopathic doctor that is actually skilled in this. And if they are, phenomenal. Then you work with whoever you feel is best for you. But there's always an underlying root cause. All right. One more question for the day. It's from Terry. Terry says, hi, Dr. Barral. And by the way, I just want to say this. Maya, don't let anybody tell you that it's not curable. That's absolute nonsense. Unless you literally had some type of change in the physical structure of your body, it's curable for sure. All right, Terry's up next. Hi, Dr. Barral. Thank you for having the best podcast anywhere and for being so generous with your time and knowledge. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate that. This is a great question to end on. Terry says, I'm a 61-year-old woman and I have normal, although probably not normal or optimal thyroid levels. I recently shot up rather suddenly into the 6+ TSH range with really no explanation that I can think of from a dietary or environmental exposure standpoint. My question is, I had a recent incidence of ingesting an NAC supplement with an inadequate amount of water, and the burning in my throat was excruciating and lasted about 15 to 20 minutes each time. Is it possible that could have damaged my thyroid? And if so, is it repairable? Thanks so much for taking my question. It's a great question. No, I don't think so. Again, no medical diagnosis here, but I don't think it had anything to do with the thyroid. And that is because what you swallow down your esophagus is not touching the thyroid itself. And I don't think that any burning there necessarily related to the thyroid, because just to give a little back up just a little bit, we actually explain this again in IHP. Anybody who wants to learn more about their health as well, go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org. Learn in depth about your health if you want. Become the health coach in your home. I can't recommend it enough. Learn how to help your family, your parents, your grandparents, your kids, your community. I can't recommend it enough. But anyway, okay, so let's take a step back. Your brain tells your thyroid to produce more thyroid hormone, and that increases your TSH. There's two main reasons. There's lots of reasons, but the two main reasons why you have a high TSH. One, your body is not converting T4 to T3, or it's being converted to reverse T3. So unusable thyroid hormone. So your brain just keeps saying, produce more thyroid, because your body's not absorbing it or converting it to usable T3, usually in the liver. All right. The other reason is that there's a high level that the body's under in terms of acute stress. And that is causing a short-term spike in thyroid hormone, followed by a subsequent chronic lowering of thyroid hormone, which shows up as elevated TSH. I know it's confusing. It really is. I think they should have done the levels in reverse. But if you have a high TSH, it means they have low thyroid function, because your brain's telling you to produce more thyroid stimulating hormone. And it's because you have low thyroid. So high TSH means low thyroid. Highest recommendation is this. If you're only interested in looking at the hormones like thyroid, run the stress, mood, and metabolism test. It'll look at the underlying root cause in terms of potentially elevated cortisol or imbalanced hormones or not enough conversion to T3. So you can find that at stephencabral.com/hormones-test. Or as always, just head on over to stephencabral.com/shop and you'll be able to search stress, mood, and metabolism test. Hopefully that was helpful, Terry. Thank you so much, everybody, for writing into the show. And, oh, Terry, you had one more. I need to make sure I always answer every question. Most likely did not damage the thyroid. Believe it or not, very few things damage the thyroid. Even people with Hashimoto's that have had autoimmune issues for years, often there's no damage to the thyroid. It's pretty wild, even though they're producing antibodies. But radiation to the thyroid or having nodules removed can damage the thyroid. Sometimes high levels of inflammation, heavy metals can, but usually the thyroid, like everything else, is pretty resilient. So hopefully it just returns back to normal. All right, everybody, thanks so much for tuning into today's show. I thank you. I appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow, as I am every day, on a brand new Cabral concept. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.